2028 election. That will be a particular year, and so far, we might have not a lot of information over here, but that's all right because we know that these few states are safe, at least safe in some respect. That's absolutely wrong. How do I? Yeah. Maine is safe. What else is safe? Um, I'll just put in the red ones that are safe, and then we'll go from there. I keep forgetting that I can lock this, but oh well. And this is certainly wrong one, wrong district. There we go, and then we have these ones so far. And yes, I am putting North Carolina as safe red. So for all you want. And so you have DC 3, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. And so these are all the other states. I assume Kansas will go have a little shift to the left. Nothing too crazy, but people will probably overestimate it, even though it's probably it's been happening for a while. It's been shifting to the left for a while. And so we might look at our CP averages and might guess that Nevada went, compared to 2016, actually went almost a complete shift to the right. So I'll put that in somewhat safe red. I'll put Arizona a tad down. So what about the districts of Maine? Obviously, first district, not a surprise there. Gonna be very blue, right? Let's go Nebraska at large. Obviously red. It's happening in New Mexico and Georgia. New Mexico, considering all of the Latinos that have propped up as more conservative voices, we would probably guess that New Mexico might become, either does not become a Republican state in ever until like maybe the next century, or they become one by at most 2032. So I'd probably guess more of a tilt state. So tilt state for the Democrats. Considering the Democrats that are running, I wouldn't bet my money on it though, because there's no actually good Democrats. So I'll put it as a toss up. For now, I'll look to Virginia, where Glenn Youngkin won his race last time. No, where is my phone? Can you get my phone? Mother? Where is my phone? Oh.
Don't worry, we can cut this all out.
Where in the world is this one? Oh, there it is. Okay.
We can cut all this out.
So... Okay. So... What? Where is this thing? Okay, I'm going to pull up the RCP averages now for 2024. Real clear polling had Harris up at 0.1, so that's probably something to keep an eye out for if they... Because they've underestimated Trump 3 times in a row. But they overestimated Republicans during the midterms when Trump was president. So, it's really a question of how they will go the next time, because obviously they're not going to keep underestimating Republicans forever. So we look to Virginia. That's the wrong one. Trump was up 0.4 against in Georgia. Final results of 5.7, and Harris was 5 points. Atlas Intel actually had it sort of spot on. Which is usually the deal with Atlas Intel. Intel almost never gets anything wrong. Um, but that is a massive shift. We could go relative to 2016, because 2020 was more like a fluke, considering um, there was a pandemic and that sort of actually massively hurt Trump. And it's actually kind of impressive how far he went, considering people would blame him for a pandemic. BlackRock? BlackRock. I fucking hate BlackRock. Anyways. Virginia results. You could look at the results in Virginia. And so that's a victory about 5.3 votes. So I'd say not currently, considering, but like maybe I'd go for it. Maybe the election after 2028 to have Virginia as a somewhat tilt state. But right now it looks pretty like it doesn't tilt blue, but it's very likely. Not very likely, but you know what I mean. Out of all of them, I think we should look to Illinois. So Illinois results you compare to 2024, 2016. And so in 2024, yeah, Harris only won by 11 compared to 2016, where Clinton won it by about 17. So I think next election might actually be the first time it doesn't even become, it's not a solid state like Colorado was. But actually, speaking of Colorado actually shifted more to the left since 2016. So I guess that wouldn't really change much in terms of their actual position. So let's go New Mexico 2024. Compare that to their 2016 results. It goes over here. Only about a 6-point win for Kamala Harris. Let's go back to 2016. Back in time to 2016. I think the next election might actually be the first election that it becomes a more of a, how do I say this, moderate state. Yeah, and then you see Obama versus Mitt Romney. Obama had 10 points, then dropped to Hillary Clinton under 8 points, and now again under 6 points, just like 5 points ish. So I think in this election, it'll vote to the right of Colorado, probably 4 or 3 points. It'll be more hyped out than it is set to be, but it'd still be a massive win for Republicans. And next election, you have Georgia elections. However, I wouldn't consider Georgia very likely to move to the left at all, considering that there's a counterbalance here. It's balanced like everything should be, as in total action that goes on, the total political action. So you have so basically the suburbs are going very far left, but also the mostly unpopulated rural areas are also shifting right. But there are a lot of rural areas, so I think that counterbalances it out. Wrong state. So I think this time it'll be this. Probably yeah, North Carolina is the same thing. Because North Carolina has gone 3 points or 4 points for the past like 4 elections. It's insane. It's not going to the left anytime soon. It's trouble. It's not going to be good considering for the Democrats, considering they're probably going to run either Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris again. If they run Kamala Harris again, that's that's not very good. It's not a very good thing, is it? Though I will be fair to Kamala Harris, saying that it's not entirely impossible for her to win the next election, because Richard Nixon did it, but she's not Richard Nixon, and of course her opponent was not JFK. um, so I think she's kind of cooked there. Um, Although I could look up Pennsylvania, Minnesota. Um, I think they're gonna do the exact same thing they did this election. Maybe Michigan would be different, but it's hard seeing these three just like going against each other, just politically, and considering who the Democrats are gonna run next. It's not gonna be hard to see this happening again, right? Just um, like that. Pennsylvania's like that. In Nebraska's second district, 2024 versus Nebraska's second district, 2016. Let's compare those two results. No, goodness gracious. That's about 25-point lead for Hillary Clinton. Not the representative election. I want to see the presidential one. But I would guess it was much closer this time. No, I just want to see second district. I don't want to see that. County results. It was somewhat below, I guess. It's not the end of the world. Democratic Party. Let's see here. Also, who voted for John Oliver? I will fucking. Bro, why did we elect John Oliver as like libertarians? Why? Um, likely Democrat. Lean Dem. Plus or minus 4. Have we seen second district? 54% Kamala Harris. At one point, she was 47. Other undecided was 11, according to Survey USA. So I think this will be not solidly, but at least somewhat blue. Considering this is becoming more liberal and this is becoming more conservative, that'll be an interesting way to play out, because the first district is becoming more liberal and the second district becoming more conservative, even though they're like currently opposites of each other. It's interesting what the midpoint would be of these. Of course, some news out of New Jersey. I wouldn't be surprised if New Jersey flipped next. New Jersey might flip next. Let's see. We're being somewhat realistic here. I don't want to be like, oh, they're gonna lose New Jersey, but let's compare New Jersey. I think 2016 it was election results with the 2024 election results for New Jersey. So New Jersey voters to represent got fifth. She was only about 6 points ahead, just under 6 points ahead. It's like 5.93, I think, 92. Then compare that to Hillary Clinton, who's up by 14 points. That's okay. If you consider the fact that that 2020 was a fluke, and we just forget about 2020 to 2024 altogether, because it was a year that. Oh yeah, I did forget that Jersey Shore is becoming right wing. I mean, it is right wing, but most of these counties are becoming right wing. You see the southern part of New Jersey actually coming just full on red. Those people from the HUD are actually, at the very least, they're now becoming more liberal. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I wouldn't surprise me if the next Republican leader could flip New Jersey because they have a stack right now, and for the Democrats, all they really have are Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom. The most likely candidate who would probably win an election would be Josh Shapiro, and in that case, he could probably sweep these states. Um, the New Jersey, he probably would just neutralize the threat. I've heard that Tim Walz wants to run as president. That's definitely not very likely. Considering it went from 14 to 6, I don't think it's gonna go anything higher than -2. For okay, -2 would be like an advantage for the Republicans. At most, they're getting the state by 2 points. That might be too much considering it's gone so far to the right that there's nowhere to shift right anymore. That's the analogy I'm giving. But being more realistic, it's probably going to go either tilt Democrat or tilt Republican. I think this might actually be a swing state next election, similar to Wisconsin and Michigan. But I'm doing this as tilt Democrat, and if New York can actually get its act together, it might actually shift red. Because I'm from New York, and I see the problems in my city as a Democrat-run city. So, not very good. We compare New York 2016 election results to New York 2024 election results. Not by county. I just want results. Election in New York, only about a 12-point lead. You got, don't want to talk about New York City. I want to talk about New York as a whole. She was up by over 14. Is this right? It's 12. No. At 60 minus. That's actually 24. 24 to 12. That thing almost cut in half. And so that's a shift to the right, like a hell of a lot more than you may realize. Because this also counts people who didn't vote because they're immigrants. Because immigrant communities in New York are very large. This doesn't account for people who didn't vote because they didn't like Kamala for her annoying economic policies, but they also didn't want Trump because deportation. So I think at most 2036, New York becomes a swing state. I'm putting this down as this might be 3 to 6 points next time, 3 to 9 maybe. Yeah. What about Minnesota? Minnesota, we have two states, two states and a district left. We have Minnesota 2016 election results. Yeah, Clinton won by 1.51. Mother, are you making soup for me, mother? 2024 presidential election. She actually won by 4 points, so it actually shifted to the left relative to the rest of the country since 2016. So it might be a lost cause, or it might be a false lost cause. How we define a false lost cause is that it looks like a lost cause, but it's actually not. You get it? Oh, shoot.
Stop being a fucking weirdo.
I was trying to thank you for all the years of working with me.
Is this even running? Ah, who cares? Yeah, I think it's going um, about as blue as New York or Virginia. I don't think it's becoming a swing state. New Mexico is more likely to become a swing state than Minnesota. Um, but I would say be cautious out for Minnesota. If it shifts left or right in the next 4 years, that might indicate where the entire country is going. Because if it shifts left, then either the left is becoming more prevalent or it's stagnating. If it shifts to the right next election, and that just means that, yeah, the entirety of the United States is becoming a hell of a lot more conservative, considering, um, meet 2020, because 2020 was a big and long year. Now I will do 2016 New Hampshire. I think the closest state in that election. Yeah, it's not two. And then currently, it was about 3 points. So I'm saying, I think maybe tilts. It maybe tilts next election. Um, Pretty self-explanatory. And second district. Actually, this kind of looks boring. Um, I know this is the exact same thing as like the 20, like the last presidential election, right? It looks the exact same. Except for these two. These two might actually flip, and these two might actually flip. That those are the most concerning ones for both the Republicans and Democrats. I would say the Democrats should be more worried because they need to actually, like, how do I say this? They need to flip these. Yeah, the Democrats want to flip these, which is much harder to do than, oh yeah, the Amish people. Yeah, the Amish are a great group. But they're not a lot of people. But what I was saying was, New Jersey and New Hampshire. It's a lot easier to keep states that are under your control than it is to flip between states. Um, it's not that easy. There we go. Anyways, Maine second district. 2020 results. Yep, nope. So we're going to 2024. In this election, general election, going to congressional second, 50-49, 48-49. Yeah, likely Republican, plus or minus. Yeah, I guess that's it. I think this would be definitely more less solid, and this would be like that. But if it were the swing states, it'd probably be this for next election, which would, yeah, that'd guarantee an election. But the media would probably say these are the true swing states. But I think it's more likely that what I had before was right. So I think that's it.